So I'm a white mage. You didn't know, I practice white magic and black magic. Some black magic, but not much. But I practice white magic, which has to do with healing, where black magic is very destructive. Anyway, I just wanted to talk about the N word. Basically, it's really sad to see people use the N word because you've got you've got brothers using it on each other and shit like that, you know. Like my little brother thinks that I'm an N word, and I don't even really know why, to be honest. Like I do know why, but I don't know all the reasons behind it that he has for thinking that way, to use that word. To use that word, whatever, you know, just you shouldn't use that word. Because whether or not you call somebody the N word or whatever, God still loves you, whether you have a chimpy face or a gorilla face or whatever. And I want to point out too that a lot of us are just middling, you know, like we're middlings, like we're not really tall, we're not really short, we're muscular, but we're not that muscular, and or we're muscular enough, but we're not really like, we don't look like we lift or whatever, or we do look like we lift, but we're not like, you know, we're middling, we're in the middle. So the N word doesn't really make sense. Um, yeah, because we're all in the middle anyway. And then you have the omegas, basically. So you've got the omegas and then the alphas, and then you have the middlings. And that's why the Middle Ages were so bad, because the middlings, when they don't have an alpha to guide them, which they normally don't, like in a tribe situation, like they start doing things like building society. But in the European bloodlines, building society also means killing each other very badly. And that's just kind of how Europeans are. We're kind of violent. Um, European. I'm talking like ancestral Europeans or whatever. Like I'm an American, but ancestrally I'm European, and like Eurasian and all that. But like, so I'm not exactly completely like. I'm probably less violent than a European is, but I'm still pretty violent compared to a Southeast Asian. You know, sounds racist, but like that's just kind of how it is. Not to say that Southeast Asians can't be violent; they definitely can. It's just that it's not as often. Uh, but anyway, either way, you have to be like middling to really be that violent. Because alphas don't ever have a reason to be violent, and when they do, they become very violent. But it's nothing like a middling, uh, his violence or whatever. You know, like it's nothing like it's nothing. Like you see like a big guy get angry and like hit somebody. It's almost funny. Yeah, it's almost funny. It's not funny if you're actually there and they're doing that shit. But It can be sometimes, sometimes it's like, you know, like they shouldn't be doing that, but like, anyway, yeah, we're middling. I've said it too many times probably, but yeah. And then there's a lot of omegas. Anyway, either way, whether you're an omega or an alpha, just know that God loves you. And if you're a middling, know that you're never gonna have any peace until you die. It's just how it is. You'll never have peace. Try to find peace. If you're a European, middling European, like between the heights of say like 5'7" to like 6 foot tall, like maybe not even necessarily those heights, but basically those heights, like in your middling, you're in the middle, middle of the pack kind of. Like you have to be basically like a in the middle. I don't really know. I don't exactly know how it works. Like, I don't know if it's like if you were to rate somebody a 6 or 7 or an 8 out of 10. Like I don't know if that makes them middling, or if it's just the 8s out of 10s. And I don't know. I think it's just the 8s out of 10s, and like there's a bunch of them. There's like in the white population, there's like 33% uh, middling sort of people and alphas grouped together. There's not very many alphas. So you're not going to be able to understand what I am except by the word middling. And or Middle Ages. Like if you study the Middle Ages, you'll know a lot about what what men who are like shorter than an alpha, who would be like the tribe leader or a tribesman or something. Like, I don't know. There were a lot of middlings in those too, though. And that's how society eventually became a thing. The thing about Europeans is we didn't start building society until the Omegas started practicing science. And that was a very messy but effective method. So it really wasn't right, in my opinion. Which is why I practice white magic, because it heals. And some of what I'm just saying to you is white magic, but here, cure. Saying cure sometimes works pretty well. Cure. That can heal your mind if you listen to it. Anyway. Yeah, the way that Europeans evolved is different. I'm what they call Eurasian or whatever. European Asian. Uh, so I can kind of see like how Europeans are, like they really believe in like the N word and stuff. They don't really realize that I guess technically to them I would be that to them. But what they understand is like a black person. And I'm not technically black, but whatever. It doesn't really matter to me. I don't like it when people use the N word. But, yeah, I just don't like it. It's a really low thing to do. Anyway, I'm not a witch. I'm just a white mage. So, yeah, there you go.